hard to prepare for this call without crying. And it's okay, because I hopefully, again, will be able to help someone that might feel like they're in a rut, or feel like they've taken 5 steps back, or feel like they aren't moving forward, or feel like they just don't know why they're here, or are they really meant for this? Are they capable of this? Because I've had all of those thoughts, and I know dang well that I can and I will, and I'm declaring it. And so that is actually what this little training is going to be about, because when Andrea and Heather and Brianna and Jody all took off to go to Hawaii, they asked me to train and to do the call tomorrow. And I was totally fine with that. But it was also like a big old in my heart, because I wanted to crawl in a hole and I wanted to cry. And I did cry, but that's okay, because when I made Emerald, I went Emerald in March of 2021. And I was working as a nurse practitioner at the time. And honestly, I did some work, just like reflection on what the heck am I going to talk about? Like, what do I have to train on when all of my beautiful leader side sister friends are on this beautiful trip without me? But there's a reason I didn't get to go, and it was to come here and be with you girls tonight to inspire you and get some runners to go with me next year. Okay. And I truly mean that. So anyways, on day 1 of Hawaii, I got up, when the girls were away at Hawaii, I literally avoided Facebook. I didn't want to get on, because I didn't want the FOMO and thoughts to come in like, man, I missed it. Why am I not there? I'm not good enough, right? And we all have those thoughts. But I woke up and I said, dang it, I'm going for a walk. And I took a 45-minute walk, and whatever podcast I opened up, it was what I needed to hear. And the reason I am training on this is because by the end of my walk, I was crying, because the name of the podcast says, oh, call in what you want faster using the power of declaration. And so it was Allie Reeves. I don't know if you guys follow her at all, but hello, her name's Allie. I felt like I just connected with her, and I've listened to her before. But again, I just closed my eyes and I swiped onto my podcast, and I'm like, what do I need to hear today, God? I just feel like I'm in a funk. I just want to cry. It's okay to feel the emotions, but I can't sit in this emotion and this thought that I am not capable. And that's how I felt when I woke up. So anyways, moral of the story, you're going to hear about the power of declaration. I want you guys to really think about, what does that even mean? What would you guys say that means? Someone can unmute themselves, or just put like what does that word think of in your mind when you hear it? So just about me, in case you haven't heard my story, but we went Emerald in March. We held it for about 6 months. I lost my job in October. So the month that I got let go from my nurse practitioner job due to a mandate that I did not want to abide by, which I knew was happening. I just honestly didn't think that they would do that to a loyal employee, but here we are. And here we are. Thank you, Plexus. But at that time, I was not at Emerald points. I was not receiving my Emerald bonus, and I was the breadwinner for my family. But I knew that that was not where I was supposed to stay, working 10 hours a day away from my son, who was 1.5 years at the time, with an awful doctor that was not a very nice person. Let's just say that. So being a nurse practitioner, working 10 hours a day, using my knowledge, using my love for health, but I was crying in my office every single day. So 6 months of Emerald, lost my job, but I was so confident that Plexus was what I needed to do and what was going to provide. And here we are. It is still providing, but it's been a 10-month, it's crazy. I have my numbers in front of me, a 10-month trend down until we finally have gone back up. We're not to Emerald yet, but notice I say we, because there's been a lot of growth that has come between March of 2021 to August now. And when you hit Emerald, I don't know if you guys even know how you earn the trip, but you earn it your first year, whether you hit 1 month of Emerald points and never again that entire year, you still earn it. But after your first year of hitting it, you have to maintain it for 5 months out of a 12-month calendar year. And so working way back up, that slow trickle down guess how I felt. And so if you guys ever think, gosh, my points are down again, or I'm a yo-yo, like those thoughts, I could have gave up. I could have gave up again. And that next month, and that next month, and that next month, and 10 months have passed and I still am not back to emerald. So I want to share with you guys, like if you are defining yourself by the points in your back office, you are holding yourself back. And that's what I did. I remember crying to Heather when I knew I wasn't making emerald because I didn't, make that cutoff for the 5 months that I needed to maintain the rank. And so she said, you are emerald, whether your points show it or not, and you are not stopping there. And so I just want to encourage you guys. I really pray that I wouldn't cry, but I'm probably going to cry. But you have to declare what you want and you have to say it out loud. So the podcast opened up and it said, sorry. It said, so she basically said, what does declaration mean? Like, are you calling in something big? And do you feel like it should already be here? And of course, the morning I opened it up, I said, well, heck yeah, I feel like it should already be here. So the Latin word decide means the DE means off and the side means cut. So decide, to make a declaration, means to say it out loud. You make your decision and then you say it out loud. But if you make your decision and you're like halfway in and halfway out, you're not truly declaring it. So that really spoke to me because I was like, when was the last time I said that I'm an emerald leader, that I'm, going to be diamond? I haven't said that in a long time because for a long time I haven't felt that way. And so, cutting off all other options means you declare it's what you want and you cut off the options and massive energy is created. And so I want to ask you guys, like, put a 1 if you feel like I've declared what I'm doing and I am rock solid confident in that, or a 2 if you feel like you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I think I can hit this goal that I've set for myself. Because she says that, decide to be all in now and make it happen. And so literally I couldn't have heard this at a better time, meaning we have 90 days left of 2022. Like, that is crazy. But the power of 3 months, 90 days, the 90-day push, you guys hear all about it. And so it was like I'm listening to this at the perfect time. And so basically, if you feel like you're hesitant to declare what you want and speak it into existence, that means that we have holes in our belief system. So when you declare it and you say it out loud and you cut off all other options, that there's this energetic, she said it as an energetic transmission on what you believe will happen, and you amplify it. And what you focus on expands. So if you declare it out loud to someone, to your family, to your friend, to accountability in our group, that's why we always have these groups where we're talking about our goals and encouraging each other, because it creates an energy and amplification. And so Leah's going to talk here in a few about vision and how she has kind of flipped a switch and really focused on vision for herself and vision for others that are on the journey with her. And it's obviously really exploding her business. So it's very important to do that. And so, whether that be, like I said, post about your goal, whether you're 5 away from your goal or 500, like, be confident and show your belief and work on your belief if you feel like you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So, if you feel like I haven't written my goals in a while, or I haven't even thought about like where I want to be in 90 days, are you staying safe to preserve yourself, or are you not declaring something out of fear that it won't happen? So again, I have, full transparency, been in a struggle with comparing myself to where I was a year ago, because I was 600 points higher than I am now. And so I'm not defined by a point, but looking at that, it can be discouraging, but the growth again has happened, that is way stronger. The foundation of my business back then was not what it is now. So, fear, we all have it. And failure is a stepping stone to success. If anyone can say that, it's definitely me. So feel the emotions, whether you're at a high in your business or you feel like you've been showing up and you're just not feeling it, seeing it. You don't know what to do, or maybe you're brand new and you're like, I can't even imagine what an emerald even does or says, or like I was there and I remember looking at jewels like maybe, but now I know that I won't just be at Hawaii, or I guess now it's Mexico. I won't be there as an emerald. I'll be there as a sapphire with my emerald girls with me. And so I truly know that there's people on this call that if you want it and if you declare it loud and proud, we have one whole year to do that. And that is happening. And I'm going to call Sam out, because I told Sam, I said, I wasn't able to go last year due to work circumstances, but God wanted me to go next year with you, with a friend, and without my newborn, because come on, Mexico with a newborn doesn't sound like fun, but it would have been great. But he knew that Miss Nora, my daughter, was here, and he didn't want to gift me with a trip to going out of, on a big luxurious vacation when I would have to take my newborn. So not that she's a hindrance, but it's definitely a blessing that I am proud of and excited for, but just, not focusing on what I didn't hit, but how far I've come since then. So, ask yourself, if I believed that this, and I'm going to have you guys write out your declaration, was going to happen, how would I have to look at where I am right now differently? So you're going to look at your business from a different angle. What's going well, focus on what you're strong at, and focus on what we can do differently, and not, man, I'm never going to get there, that I don't have what they have, comparing to the person next to you. So what belief do you feel like is shining between you and your next goal? Is it belief in yourself, belief in others, belief in Plexus, the opportunity? Do you feel like you don't have what it takes? You have to fill in the blank there and then patch the holes. So I want to have Leah share just a little bit about what she has noticed and been thinking, and maybe some tips that she has. And then I was going to share one more thing.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So first thing I wanted to talk about is just how everyone has a different map and journey to the finish line with Plexus. And I know in Columbus, Christina Williams kind of talked about the map going up and down like a yo-yo, like Allie was talking about. Whenever I started in March of 2020, I did not start the business at all until a whole year later. So it was around March of 2021. I started sharing just my belief in the products, and I had zero belief in myself or posting or sharing the vision whatsoever. And I got silver pretty easily. Candy, who was on here, my stepmom, my mom, and my husband. That's how I got silver, those 3 people. And I was fine with that bonus, and I was fine to stay just like that. But I continue to share and post about the products. And I missed that big gap for such a long time that Allie was just talking about, of the belief in myself. So the belief in myself just was not there. We had so much mindset training and vision. My math brain was just like, I don't need that. I need X, Y, and Z, and I need to know how to get there. I don't want to do any of the extra work. I don't want to have mindset training. I don't want to have any of this extra stuff. And I put it off. March of 2021 is when I started sharing. It was probably December of 2021 that the belief in myself just wasn't there. I would literally make posts and hide them from people that I did not want to see them, because I was scared they would say something to me about it. People that I would see all the time that I knew didn't believe in the products at all, I would hit hide. Every time I made a Plexus post, I would hide it from all of them. And the mindset training that we had, the books that we would read, these Wednesday night calls, all of those helped my mindset so much. So I started making posts that I didn't care. Like if people, I finally took off like you could make a little thing if you know what I'm talking about. I know Joy said she did it too. You can like take off the little thing where everyone can see them. And I took it off. And if they unfollowed me, whatever, I just didn't care at that point. And I feel like that was the time where I was at gold and I went back down to silver. I focused on my mindset so much when I went back to silver. And when I was focusing on that, I started seeing vision. I'm like, I want to get to ruby. In the back of my mind, I'm like, ruby points is where I want to be. And until I'm there, I'm not going to be happy. So I pushed and continued with the mindset. I will be the first one to say, if you are not focusing on your mindset, like that is how I got to ruby. Focusing on myself and putting myself first was a big thing for me. So getting to those ruby points, which is 500 points, I wanted to set a new vision for myself. So I made a new vision board and I thought about where do I want to be next? And it wasn't senior ruby. I went straight for emerald. I have not gotten there yet, but I made a vision board. I put Hawaii on there. I put an emerald, jewel, my family, and walking on stage. Those are the things that I thought about for my vision board, and that's where I want to be next. So focusing on a vision, I think, is huge, because if you're just thinking about how can I collect this paycheck? How can I go up further? How can I do the littlest amount possible and make money? Was definitely what kind of got me down in the dumps. So definitely focusing on that, creating a vision for yourself. And it shouldn't be an easy vision. It shouldn't be something that you can get to tomorrow. It's something that you see down the road that's really going to make a difference in your life. Let me see what else I put. The collage. I think that was mainly everything. But one other thing I wanted to talk about is making a vision for others. I think I have 7 girls on my team on here tonight. Yep, I have 7. So 7 girls who, as of January-ish of this year, maybe 1 or 2 of them were kind of on board, and I don't think they were fully on board. And now they're on here, they're fully on board because of casting a vision onto people. Posting about the business and what it has done for you was one of my big fears before my mindset training, but casting that to people and letting them know the opportunity that's out there is a big one. So if that's something that you're scared of and a fear, it's definitely what is going to get you those business builders that you keep saying that, well, I just don't have a business builder, I can't get there. You have to cast the vision and continue to cast the vision over and over and over. Show them what's possible with Plexus. So that's basically it. That's what I have, Allie.
Thanks, girl. Seriously, 7 of you guys on here, and I'm not going to call you girls out, but I just, so many people, and there was a time when I was like, I want the business builder to come in. Like, you don't just find a business builder, you create them. And that's because if you believe in what you're doing and you're showing up for yourself and for your audience, I hate that word, but like you're showing up confident, whether you have 1 friend or 100 friends with you, that's going to create someone to want to know what you're doing. And you're going to show them your belief needs to be big enough for someone else. And if your belief has a hole in it, then that's why no one is working this with you. And you haven't shined light on someone because you have a cracked lens in your sunglasses. That sounds cheesy, but do you know what I mean? Like, we need to patch the holes to why we don't believe in ourselves and why we aren't declaring big things and thinking big things. And then when we patch those holes, that's when we're gifted those things and create those things and crush those fears. And so she, again, Allie Reeves, I love her. She says, you got to hold positive space for positive possibilities. So in the laws of the business, the mundane things that, Brianna and Andrea always talk about, like showing up, doing the consistent things, doing your IPA, sending messages, even when no one's responding, like you're planting seeds. And so when you hold the positive space in your mind and you declare that big things are happening, that's when that DM from someone, who saw your post that never responded to your 4 previous messages, or when you DM the business builder and they say, yes, they're interested, or the person who says, sure, I'll share a post and it goes crazy, or the person that never wanted to share, like Leah, and she's almost emerald. Like, those are the things that when you think positive and you declare that you are in this and you're focused, then possibilities come. So one thing that really spoke to me, as I'm a type A, for anyone else on here, was very timeline specific. Went for the goal, went for the goal, went for the goal, missed it. I'm a failure. No, you're not a failure. You learned and you tried again and you hit your goal, and you grew through it. So you can't have a super tight grip on your goal that you're declaring. And so you're, deciding this is what's happening. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm showing up for my goal and my decision, and I'm stating it out loud. And if you have a super tight grip on it, or if you let your points define you, or when people fall off, you think it's about you, then that energy is going to be a negative energy that does not serve you. And so, again, reflecting back on the last 10 months, there have been months when I didn't push to the end because I wasn't going to hit it. Well, why do I push? Well, that's 10 steps back, and that's negative energy that's affecting me in a bad way. So finish your declaration. So whether you write, Allie, I wrote my declaration and you guys will too, but write it with this is happening or something better. Like, you're not just going to hit your goal and take a seat. You're going to blow past your goal. So we are the co-creators of our declaration, and there's a higher power that there may be a reason that you haven't hit your declaration or your goal yet, but trust that it's meant to be, and it will. And so, again, I listened to these things, and the whole point of her sharing this podcast was she was declaring that she was going to have her first 6-figure month in her business. And she was at $55,000 like on the 15th of the month. She wrote this podcast on the 18th of the month, and on the 19th of the month she had brought in $20,000 in revenue in her business. And she was like, I declared it, I hit it with flying colors. And her next podcast that I listened to was, how did she feel when she hit that declared milestone for herself? And so, how will you feel when you hit your goal that you're going for? And we don't know when the timing is going to be, but write a letter to the girl that you are going to be, who the girl you're striving to be, because of your journey to your goal. Because you all can go to diamond in this business if you truly believe you can. And if you guys were at Leaders, we all wrote letters to ourselves when we wrote down our vision there. We wrote a letter, and when we hit our goal, we get to read our letter. So I think that was kind of cool to, build yourself up, because we're so good at tearing ourselves down and letting others do that if we just truly decide, say it out loud, tell someone, and have no reserve, like, that is what you're calling into action, and you'll speak it into existence. So I'm speaking that in November. I'm re-ranking my Emerald status, even though it's not a status, but it's a achievement that I've been working for. And I will be Sapphire in Mexico in 2023 with lots of my team with me. So who's claiming a spot? Jarapa 1. And again, I wrote that you weren't ready to experience Hawaii with a 3-month-old, that God wants you to experience this trip with more friends next year, with your team beside you and your hubby on a retreat with your husband and not your children. So I know some of the girls took their kids, but I envisioned my first, all-inclusive 10-day long trip without a kid. So that's right, Nikki, girlfriend, you are totally going to be there. And so, writing down your declaration and end it with this is happening or something better. No timeline. Yes, we want to have a measurable goal to shoot for. Otherwise, it's just a goal without a plan is just a thought. So if we have a plan, but it's okay if it doesn't happen on that timeline, because we are co-creators of our life. Like, God has the ultimate plan. And so you all know me, I'm good for an acronym, and we'll wrap it up. I think this is like the first 30-minute call we've ever had, because we love Andrea. She's so long-winded. But all right. So grit is the first word that came to my mind when I was like, how have I been feeling the last 10 months? Now that I'm finally on the upswing on that point projection sheet, grit is gratitude and growth. So the G, you got to have a gratitude attitude. You have to be thankful for where you are on the way to where you're going, because it's so easy to say, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm doing this wrong. But and then you can just say, like, I prayed forever to find Plexus and to make extra money. And I prayed forever to be in the 1,000-point club. Thank goodness I've never dropped below a 1,000-point club. You guys might be thinking, I would have never even, I wouldn't bat an eye if I was in that. But it's like, we get so focused on where we want to go, we forget the good or the positive. So total transparency there. You got to have gratitude, and you're going to grow through whatever valley you hit if you're willing to have grit. The R is resistance and resilience, because you're going to meet resistance. If there wasn't resistance, Plexus would be in the ground, because we'd all be diamond and making 20K a month like that. There's resistance for a reason. And if we fight the resistance and we embrace it, you become resilient. And that's what helps you to meet the goals you have for yourself. The I is for intention and integrity, because we have to have intentions. We have to have goals. We have to be intentional with our time. That's like a constant growth that we're doing with this. And integrity, of course, it's like the cornerstone of a healthy business and all the relationships that we have. And then T is trust and truth. So as you guys are doing the vision, we are ditching lies and we're replacing them with truths, and we are trusting. Trust. I read a devotional recently, and it said trust is total reliance upon spiritual timing. So take away the timeline, take away the unrealistic expectations, and truly just trust that what's meant to be will come if you give it to God and truly believe, like, I don't know what I'm here for. Show me the way, it will happen. And so here I am. I didn't cry, almost did. A little lump in my throat, but dang it. Look at Brianna hopping in from Hawaii. Look at her. So I hope that inspired someone to just seriously, maybe you feel like, I don't know why I'm here. You're here because you showed up on this call. And Brianna, what the heck, girls? Where are y'all going?
We're hiking a volcano and going to listen to you.
Oh my God. Well, you're an hour late.
I know. We're struggling, okay? We don't know time.
Girls. Well, thanks for thinking of the time. I just finished. I recorded it though, and you're on it, so I love it.
Perfect.
But we have lots of people declaring that they will be there with us next year. We have Miss Leslie and Courtney and Candace and Andy and Nikki and Michaela and Leah and Lindsay and Alicia and Sam and Joyce. Yes. And Alex, I know she says yes, but she must not have heard me say that. We are all speaking it into existence, getting rid of the fear, and truly just super excited to hear all about your girls' trip when you guys get back. Thanks for hopping on, gals. Anything else you guys feel? Earning that diamond trip. Oh yeah. Thanks, Andy. Yes, girls.
Well, I saw the feedback in the team in the team chat. I was like, I need to hop on.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I
don't know.
I'm not good time change calculator.
Y'all are gonna be jet lagged for like a week after you get back.
I know.
How fun. Are you with everybody?
I have Andrea and Joanna. We're hiking.